What's up, class? This is your new teacher here today, the Act Historian. You can lick my fat, hairy butthole, is what I would say if I was making a video on trash talk and trying to keep it monetized. Here's a little bit about me. I am a preserver, a keeper of old and sacred knowledge. I remember the days of Croit in Halo 2, the legendary diss the Scamp dropped on Low Tier God. I remember the infamous Brawlic Black Dude Requeese. And of course I have paid witness to the notorious Riot Shield debate. I have kept a record of these and many other instances of famous trash talk in video games. It's all here. For years, I have studied the art of video game trash talk in between those rare moments when I wasn't sleeping with your mother. I want to uncover the mysteries and ask the hard questions. Is it acceptable to say, hey, maybe if your mother aborted you, we wouldn't have lost this match? The questions only get harder from there. But, as the Act Historian, I believe I have the tough answers. Welcome to my balls. Population, your mouth. So class, open your textbooks to page 69, got 'em, and we'll start today's lesson.
If your friends are bullying someone, you should tell them to stop. Do not pick on anyone. There's nothing funny about it.
I'm gonna bend your mother over my knee, shave her ass hair, roll it up in a blunt, and make you smoke it.
This isn't about me being good. It's about him being trash.
Why am I so much better than you?
I don't care if I sound like a child. My IQ's 144. That's 1 point behind Einstein. What do you have?
Oh! Tell him about himself. Tell him about himself. Tell him about himself. Let him know. Tell him. Tell him about himself. All right.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
Bondi.
Who's ever... This nigga angry. This nigga angry. This nigga angry. This nigga angry.
They're terrible. Look at them walking away with their heads down. Garbage team. You pay me 10K a month, I might turn back. Just kidding, you're garbage.
What is this game about? Are you kidding me? I am losing my mind.
If we have any young, impressionable kids in the chat, or just kids of any age, like, do not bully people.
But before we jump into it, this video is sponsored by a friend of mine. Ka-chow! Boys and girls, you need to head to alienclothing.com to pick up some sick-ass designs like me. It's an independent clothing brand started by my boy Elvis the Alien in 2017. The white and black combo on this shirt. I got this sexy-ass cyberpunk jean jacket. There's a ton of styles for people who love video games, movies, aliens, science fiction, and, God forbid, even anime. If your interests even moderately align with mine, there's something you're gonna want at alienclothing.com. And let's be honest, fellas, we all need a wardrobe update, okay? I can't tell you how many compliments I've gotten on some of these shirts, and, like, as a guy, we know that's rare, right? Am I right, fellas? So who knows, you might grab the attention of some pretty girl you're interested in. And then when you guys are dancing in the club and she says, let's go back to my place, you whisper in her ear, go to alienclothing.com and use code ACTMAN to get 20% off your whole order. Alien doesn't often restock their items, so once they sell out, chances are they're gone for good. But they're constantly updating the shop with new designs, so be sure to check back in. So what are you waiting for? Go to alienclothing.com with 2 Ys. Use code ACTMAN to get 20% off. Thank you, Elvis the Alien, for sponsoring this video.
And now for something completely different.
First, we need to establish what trash talk is. What am I referring to? Because there's a big difference between getting pissed at a game and shouting,
You serve zero purpose. You should kill yourself now.
There's trash talk in the competitive setting, like a tournament with professionals and potential monetary incentives. There's anonymous trash talk where you play with randoms you happen to meet up in the game. And then there's trash talk with your friends. Nice! Your fruit killing skills are remarkable! Everyone's interpretations are going to be a bit different. So when people say trash talk has no place in gaming, it's like, well, what do you mean? What are you referring to? As Xbox's support page says, know the difference between trash talk and harassment.
I hope you wake up crucified, dude. I hope your dog dies the moment you love it the most.
This is a type of harassment that over 21 million female gamers have experienced. It was at this moment when we saw that it was not just trash talking. It was straight up harassment.
Bam, I hope you get flung off this planet by an unfeeling cosmic wizard, you fucking doormat.
The debate around trash talk has gained significant traction over the last decade, with articles such as Why We Trash Talk, Mysteries Revealed, Toxic Gaming Behavior, Trashing Talking, and many game developers have sought out ways to be more inclusive and quote-unquote safe.
Yeah, so we're here to create a safe space for all gamers, everybody, and that kind of stuff will not be tolerated.
This often translates to cracking down harder on banter in-game or outright disabling it, censoring words in the text chat.
JAP. You cannot type in JAP. That means you cannot type in Japan. It becomes Jan.
You can't get as creative with your gamer tags nowadays.
Microsoft completely banned my online identity. And so they said that since Naked Eli suggests a nude individual, that has suggestive tones, and that goes against the terms of service, where you're not allowed to have anything that's profane or sexual.
What is okay to say? What isn't? How do you know? Should teabagging another player get you banned from a tournament and subsequently castrated? There are some folks who believe so. When people think of trash talk in gaming, they likely picture two balding, malding 24-year-olds shouting at each other in Call of Duty lobbies.
Oh, I'm a fuck. What do you want me to use? You tell me what you want me to
But, ladies and gentlemen, this is trash talk at its most basic and unrefined. I don't claim to have all the answers, however, trash talk at its core is merely a symptom of man's eternal struggle for dominance. Because when you hit that sick 360 no-scope to win the match, you're gonna let everyone know about it.
Do it, Tim.
Oh, you better uninstall! Uninstall the game! Uninstall the game!
Getting into the mind of your opponent is a key but highly controversial tactic in war. You see pro athletes do it in football. Hell, the hockey refs straight up let players beat the shit out of each other. But as the age-old saying goes,
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
I don't even think a game like chess is exempt from smack talk.
You know when you're in high school and you're running the mile and then someone laps you? That's kind of what happened with us with chess.
I like that you're trash talking. You're really trying here.
Sun Tzu is quoted as saying, "The greatest strategy in war is to verbally assault your opponents until they rage quit." This is largely why Genghis Khan was so successful in conquering large parts of Asia and China. The other teams got tilted and left. The thing about trash talk is most online games offer ways to completely avoid it should your fragile ego not be able to handle mean words.
Fuck you!
What up?
Shut the fuck up, you suck!
You scream every time you die, you bitch.
Shut the fuck up, fag!
The mute button exists for a reason. If someone's being super toxic, I don't know, block them. But on a more serious note, there is stuff you shouldn't say or do.
You're a fucking ugly little cunt, mate, and if I ever see you, I'm gonna fucking slit your fucking face wide open, yeah?
Yet I think giving players a choice in how they engage with the game and others is much better than simply nuking a game's social features. Halo Reach had an interesting idea with its psych profile where you could opt into different types of lobbies. Do you prefer chatty, a good time, or rowdy? It was a neat idea. But now in Halo Infinite, you rarely hear other players talk in match. There's no post or pre-game lobbies to jerk yourself off and shit on the enemy team. Like, imagine if From Software took out the point down emote because it was so toxic. It's like, that would just be lame, dude. Now, let's start with competitive trash talk, as I feel like it's the least controversial.
Is this kid stupid? I think there's something wrong with them.
The more a game emphasizes and rewards players for winning, the more likely they are to get heated when someone plays like trash. Of course, it's okay to humiliate your opponents after a victory, but if you're an eSports pro, you still need to be a professional.
You want to be professional, especially on the large scale, because there's people that are watching, you know? The trash talk is exciting, but once the match is over, you know, some of us are still friends, even though we say some mean stuff, and you got to show everybody watching that you can be a professional gamer, you know, and be respectful at the end. Shake their hands, good games. Whatever happens on the battlefield, you leave it on the battlefield.
I think that's perfect. You know, keep the shit talk in the game, and shortly after the game when your jungler ends up feeding. Professional is a word that describes not just your abilities, but your attitude.
Die in a fucking fire, please.
Take football as an example. They usually screw this call up, but there's such a thing as a taunting penalty, which to me, taunting is like, okay, you're touching me. Don't touch me, bro.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me, dude.
That's what taunting is to me. So if you're getting in someone's face over a video game...
Buffalo taking out Scar with the pop-off. That's right, there's some beef.
Personal foul, taunting. This guy with the long hair, that's a 15-yard penalty. But who knows, maybe people have a good reason for getting all fired up like this guy. Or if I just showed you the clip of Viscant's amazing one-liner, you might think he's the antagonist in that situation. FPS team games can get pretty intense, but sometimes there's only one way for two men to settle their differences. 1v1 me, bro. Guardian or Rust. Nowhere is the art of trash talk so perfectly captured than in the Street Fighter matchup between Viscant and Low Tier God.
If you're gonna talk, then back it up. If you're gonna be a bitch, then run like a bitch.
That's what I'm fucking talking about! That's what I like to hear!
I'm not going to dive into the rich lore behind this, but suffice to say these two hated each other. And Viscant seemed like the genuine guy, you know, showing up in a nice shirt, probably got off work, was like, I'm gonna go beat some guy's ass in Street Fighter. Low Tier God comes in, fuck this kid, this little vampire ass bitch.
This dude looks like a fucking zombie out of The Walking Dead. Then he comes here dressed like he got his outfit out of fucking Target. This dude looks like he lives in his basement. He looks like he never gets sun. He could possibly be a fucking vampire.
And I gotta say, props to the people hosting the tournament for allowing these two to talk to each other like this. It shouldn't be encouraged, but if they do this shit in the UFC, you know, why not in gaming? It spices things up and makes the match more intense, because whoever loses can't talk trash no more.
Bitch! Bitch! Come here, bitch!
This match had everything. It felt like Low Tier God and Viscant almost came to blows multiple times. That says it all.
That's it! AJ is popping off! He is popping off right now!
It's like, the thing with bullies is sometimes the only way to truly defeat them is to bully them back.
You heard that correctly. Bully hunters will get these harassers where it hurts them the most, by beating bullies at their own game.
Viscant knew this, and after the heated battles, this is what he had to say.
There's gonna come a point when you forget about what happened, and you're gonna wanna come back at me. And you're gonna wanna wash the taste of my dick out of your mouth.
Low Tier God is left speechless and stunned by the verbal assassination he just endured. Would anyone remember this historic matchup were it not for the trash talk and the intensity behind it? And even though Low Tier God seems like a real douchebag, like at the very least, you must admit his antics are entertaining.
This feeling that you got stepping into an arcade to go play Street Fighter 4, we will never feel again. Ever. The FGC there'll never be a time like this again, the way you felt competing in Street Fighter 4.
You could talk all the same shit you do before, during, and after a match, but just have that one moment of actual respect between you and the other player.
Huge shout outs to both of the players for coming out under all this pressure. There was a lot of hype. Everyone saw the trash talk. It got a little personal, whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, these two are existing under the same roof. That's and right. All the trash talk aside, this is really about Street Fighter.
That's correct.
And, you know, that was a great fight.
So I think we can all agree in tournaments and eSports, the pro scene, trash talk is a vital part of the game. It absolutely has a place, but it also has a limit. It's up to the organizations and tournament holders to come up with reasonable guidelines. You can be a professional and still call someone a cock-smoking breadbasket. Not all trash talk is beneficial or created equal. Like I said, there's a difference between not being creative with your insults and just
rape threats.
You want to get raped, bitch? You want me to rape you?
And like shit and garbage like this.
I will literally beat your fucking head in, bitch.
It's the laziest, most boring bullying I think I've ever seen. I'm gonna rape you this, I'm gonna kill you that, you're dumb, you're stupid. If you're going to insult somebody and try to get at someone and you're not even going to put any effort into it or any creativity into it, you shouldn't bother doing it.
That's the true crime, is when people just aren't creative. Like, I find it so cringe when I hear someone throw out a slur and it's like, that's all they got.
You scream every time you die, you bitch.
Shut the fuck up, fag!
Is this it? Is this all you can conjure, Saruman?
Or when there's a girl in the lobby and some dude is like, make me a sandwich, woman. It's like, you really had the neurons working in maximum overdrive to come up with that one, didn't you? At least ask her to mow your lawn or something.
Bitch! Is a bitch talking to me? Is a female talking to me?
Yes, Mr. Speed, I do believe a female is talking to you. Like, the best trash talk to me is cold, calculated, creative insults.
I feel like I'm a fucking gorilla with a fucking baseball bat fighting a retard with a spoon.
It's making someone feel bad for reasons they never imagined, or making them so confused by what you just said, they have no other reaction than nervous laughter. Anyone can throw out racial slurs, but it takes a true connoisseur to stitch together an elegant sentence like, "It must have been a sad day when you slithered out of the abortion bucket." You could send that to anybody, and I guarantee you they would never forget that sentence. That's the beauty of it. I don't know, man, trash talk and trolling, it's all about just like finding what someone gets really, really pissed off at, what upsets them, and then doing that and seeing their reaction.
You, now I'm gonna cry, motherfucker.
Other times, bad trash talk is more innocent, where someone wants to drop a fat one-liner, but royally screws it up.
Our best is better than your worst. Wait. Our worst is better than your best. My bad.
This is totally harmless, but noticeably embarrassing. But remember, kids, you need consent before you talk trash in gaming. Don't forget to ask Jesus. If it reaches levels of harassment or someone's like making new accounts just to keep messaging you, yeah, that's too far.
You're obsessed with me, you fucking f***. And y'all niggas can clip this. This nigga come on my stream 24/7 with a VPN, getting banned thousands of times a stream, and still comes in here and sucks my dick and obsesses over me.
But if you stay in the same lobby and insult and berate each other for an hour, you go your separate ways and never speak to each other again, well, what's the harm? Now, there is a more toxic side to this, naturally. Children that hop into online voice chat, commonly referred to as squeakers, well, we don't exactly want to traumatize a fucking kid. But then again, parents should know what their kids are doing and saying, and watching children get pissed off is pretty funny. There is an ethical part of trash talk. It's like sex. It should be done between two consenting adults. Greetings, XX Poon Handler. I fucked your sister last night. And a good day to you, No Scope Baller. My sister has a dick. That's how it's supposed to be. I know I'm coming across like I splooge over ye old Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, but let's also not ignore the extremely toxic side of trash talk. Like this article states, I put on my friend's headset, someone called me the N-word, and I stopped playing after that. This was my first and last experience with live chatting while gaming. So, you got 3 ways to deal with any bully in your life, cause online bullying is all this can be, right? You're not gonna get betrayed by a teammate 5 times and then meet up to fight in the streets, unless you're Denny G, who lives in Smethwick, Birmingham. If you want a fucking brawl,
come down Smethwick, ask for Denny G.
He'll come out of his house
and I'll break your fucking legs.
You can either, number 1, ignore the bully, don't feed the troll. You can, number 2, disconnect from voice chat. Or number 3, bully the shit out of the bully.
Let's go.
I understand interacting with obnoxious, hateful people is tough sometimes, especially if you can't just pop them in the mouth. But in this article, in this case, it seems like the terrible racist comment won. Nobody's saying people can't be toxic in gaming, but I don't understand why on earth you'd let someone win. Why'd you let them bully you off of a game? Why didn't you tell them to go snort coke off of a crocodile's butthole? You know? It's not like these people can unplug your internet. My dad actually works for Comcast. Shut the fuck up. My dad is Phil Spencer. Trash talk is inevitable, and everyone has the tools to deal with it. But here's a more difficult question we need to ask ourselves. How should bad trash talk be punished? An NBA player by the name of Leonard Myers said this on a live stream while gaming.
Cowards don't snag me, you kike bitch.
Leonard was suspended for a week and the Miami Heat slapped him with a $50,000 fine. 8 days later, he was traded from the Miami Heat to the Oklahoma Thunder, where he was released 8 days afterwards and has not played an NBA game since. So you could argue using a bad word on live stream ended this man's NBA career. I think that's excessive. Just recently, there was another massive overreaction to trash talk, if you could even call it that. This was in response to a teabagging incident. Yes, apparently that is a thing now. During a Valorant tournament, a player known as Dilly teabagged one of his dead allies, to which he was promptly banned, and the reasoning was this.
Absolutely not. Will not tolerate that. Literally goes in fucking out of his way to jump on a death box and teabag it. Don't think so. I have a fucking pen and pad. Yeah, so we're here to create a safe space for all gamers, everybody, and that kind of stuff will not be tolerated.
This story would become a bit mainstream and people would voice their thoughts on it. Some people went so far as to claim teabagging in video games is on the same level of sexual assault in the real world. So 2 other players made fun of these opinions. Riot's response was to ban these 2 players from any Riot-sanctioned tournaments, and then they doxed them for that extra spice. All for committing the crime of making fun of teabagging. It's some of the most pussy-ass shit I've ever seen on the internet.
Shooting bodies also counts as fucking being toxic. We'll get to those DQs later.
Like, Riot released these people's full names when they weren't public. What? Just use their fucking screen name, dude.
Yeah, so like you can't do that. Just like I'm telling dude, you're gonna tell me teabagging my own teammate is toxic. Alright, so then this is where we're gonna shut the lobby down at this point, because I'm not gonna get into that one, because absolutely it is.
In the wise words of the legendary video game Donkey.
What is this, fucking pussy-ass baby preschool time?
Oh my god, he teabagged a dead body! I can't believe this horrific and disgusting act has been normalized and accepted by the gaming community for the last 20 plus years. Oh my god, it's sexual assault! We're here to create a safe space for everyone, except if you happen to crouch down next to an ally's body more than 3 times. Then your ass is grass and I will publicly shame you on my live stream. Because I was that kid in elementary school that got a hard-on every time I told on someone and they got in trouble. Wait a minute, why didn't people hang out with me after high school? The organization behind this decision to ban Dilly for teabagging wrote a freaking novel about it to double down and try to justify this obvious overreaction. What I find so funny about a company like Riot saying they're trying to fight against toxicity in the gaming space is that they're the same company that just settled out of court for $100 million in a gender discrimination lawsuit. But yeah, let's focus on the teabagging. So these are a couple instances where I feel like relatively harmless trash talk is treated like a fucking battery charge. These kinds of moments feel disingenuous to me because the punishment doesn't fit the crime. But perhaps this is the future of competitive gaming. In the casual competitive environment, you know, those matches where it's just people playing ranked, that's when people get a bit fierce. Why did you run for the sniper instead of grabbing the flag, you baboon? This level of competition instills a desire to win at all costs. You'll find that trash talk is much more toxic in ranked modes than unranked, which is why I don't play ranked League of Legends, because I'd rather get bit by a wolf spider than 9 black widows. This is especially prevalent in games like League and Overwatch because there's always someone to blame other than yourself. But that's the thing developers need to realize. Engaging in shit talk is a choice. I don't like the toxicity in League's ranked mode, so I don't play it. The other main reason people talk trash is for their own entertainment and for the entertainment of others. A lot of people don't like Keemstar, but his early videos were extremely creative.
This is fucking boring as hell. I'd rather fucking teabag a bear trap.
That's what I mean when I talk about the art of trash talk. And if you go even further back to the days of Ventrilo harassment, well, gamers are certainly an angry bunch sometimes. I think it's perfectly fine to make content based on people getting pissed off as long as you're tactful about it. You go into the comments of these old videos and you see people nostalgic. They're reminiscing on the golden era of trash talk. It represents a time before Skype and Discord were mainstream and in-game chat was just the default, you know?
Oh my fucking god! Dude, why is it that when I flash somebody, it's like I just slapped them in the face with a fucking napkin from a little kid's birthday party?
But it seems developers nowadays see this type of trash talk as detrimental to the business model. Back in the day, it was pretty common to see the mic symbol next to every player in a lobby, meaning at the very least they had it plugged in and could hear. It seems gaming back then just had a higher emphasis on building a community, or at least giving players as many ways as possible to interact with each other, be it good or bad. Clearly a lot of people enjoyed this kind of verbal war. I myself rarely jumped into the fray, but I'd always plug my mic in just to hear what kind of crazy ass shit people would talk. I tuned in for the pure salt. Some games are so good about this, they actually talk trash for the player.
Go eat another box of dog treats.
Like the episode 3 game.
Which one of those buttons calls for help?
Or with Overwatch, where voice lines can be spammed for maximum irritation. Like everything in life, there's a time and a place for trash talk. In some ways, it should be encouraged, or at least allowed. I think developers should stop treating trash talk like some virulent plague that's infested the world of gaming. I think most times it's pretty harmless, and usually it's obvious when it's not.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
Make fun of people for their skills, not their gender or their race or whatever. That's not creative or funny. A little rivalry adds to the intensity, it makes us more competitive. And I think video games would be far less interesting if people didn't care enough to think up some witty insult, or pull out their guitar just to try and roast another guy.
So yeah, you're gay.
If anything, trash talk is something that should be enjoyed from afar. It's a part of life, and it's a part of competition. And so perhaps trash talk does have a place in gaming. Maybe. Just maybe. It makes life just a bit more interesting. And thus concludes today's lesson on video game trash talk. Thank you all for tuning into this lecture, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Class dismissed!
But when I get fucking flashed, it tastes like some big brolic black dude named fucking Raquise pulled a fucking bedsheet over the head of my head and just proceeds to skull fuck me!